I recently had the opportunity to test the Unistellar Odyssey Pro, an easy-to-use telescope capable of observing and photographing galaxies, planets, stars, and more. It's an amazing device that you can travel with or even set up in your yard, but in this video, I'm going to take you on an adventure with me into the Grand Canyon, where I was able to observe ultra-dark skies with this fantastic telescope. Like most great trips in the Southwest, this adventure started where the pavement turned to dirt. Now, while this telescope is more than capable of observing the galaxies from the comfort of your own home, the photographer in me could not resist but to chase even darker skies to observe and capture those more vivid images without light pollution. This particular trip was over 55 miles on the dirt road, which lasted for hours until I caught a glimpse of what seemed to be my objective. Upon arrival, I enjoyed the beauty of one of the most spectacular views in all of the West. But this trip was not about the views below, it was about what was above. As the day faded to night, I grabbed my Odyssey Pro and headed up to a plateau with a clear view of the sky. Setting up the telescope with the high-quality tripod was a breeze. There's a little leveling base on the tripod that made it super easy to get it to level even on ground that wasn't quite flat. As someone without much experience doing things like this before, I was worried that this might be a process that could really give me trouble. However, this telescope makes it so easy to set up. Now finally, once everything was all set up, I was ready to put the Unistellar Odyssey Pro to the test. Okay, I'm out here at the north rim of the Grand Canyon. We're getting a chance to play around with this telescope. Played around with it a few nights in the past, and I'm really excited to talk about it today because this is sure a fun piece of equipment for me as a photographer and just as a night sky observer. It is so cool. So regardless of who you are, if you're someone that just enjoys the night sky, this is a really fun device for you to check out. Now, when I got this device, I honestly expected it to be something that took a lot of setup, took a lot of knowledge. You know, you got to read an instruction manual, all those things, because it is a telescope. It's a complex device that's capturing the night sky. But I could not have been more incorrect. When I took this thing out of the box, I read a little bit of the instructions and I was like, I'm going to throw this thing up outside, see how it works. I set this thing up in about 2 minutes tonight. It's as easy as throwing up the tripod, putting the telescope on the base, and then turning on the telescope and connecting it with your phone. The telescope does everything after that. One of the really nice parts about it is you don't have to dial in the focus. You don't have to know where to look. You simply just go into the app, select what you want to look at, and it will take you straight there without you having to do a single thing. I've been tracking hundreds of different things in the sky, from little tiny stars and planets that are so far away to big galaxies, and there truly is just so much to see out there. Now, whether you're someone who just wants to check everything out, you do have this viewfinder scope that you can look through. You can of course also look on your phone at what the telescope is doing. You can tab between different objects that you want to look at in the sky, and the telescope will move. It takes 10 to 20 seconds to find a new object that you want to look at. Then if you want to capture photos like I do, I'm a big photographer, you can capture some really awesome stuff here just by pushing the button. It's totally all automated. You simply press a button, it exposes the scene, captures your image. You have an option to enhance the color while you're exposing, and then you just let it expose for a couple minutes. It'll grab a great photo, really nice quality. I was really surprised that this device was able to take as nice of photos as it has. Also really fun to look at things like the moon. You can see so much more on the moon than you can even with a telephoto lens on a camera. So whether you're a photographer or you're someone who just is a casual person that wants to look at the things in space and you're curious about, this is a really fantastic device. Now the app on the phone could not be any easier to use. I just switched the telescope to look at M43. The telescope just does its thing. It automatically turns, it automatically shifts, and it looks straight at M46 that I selected. Now you can see the stars on the screen, and it's going to show me this galaxy. Now I'll be able to see it here on the screen, but when I want to see a even better photo or an even better look at it, I can click the button to create an exposure, basically a photo, which is going to look at that area over a period of time, which is then going to make it a little bit brighter, a little more colorful. So it's going to look more like those beautiful photos that you're used to seeing of the galaxies. Now, when you click that center button to expose the photo, it's really fun to watch because you go from seeing just little dots, little stars on the screen, and it starts to populate with more colors and more stars and even galaxies if you're looking at a galaxy. It's really fun to just watch it all happen in front of you. You literally don't need to do anything other than just press the button. There's nothing you need to know about photography. You don't need to know anything about focusing. The telescope does it all for you. It really could not be any easier to use. Really nice if you just want to hang out and chill and look at the stars, show off to your friends, grab some great photos, just for anyone that's really curious. It is so easy to use. Now, if you're like me, you want to take photos of a lot that you might want to share later, it's really nice to be able to catalog all your images. So this has internal storage. It's able to save the images, which then I can look at on my phone, and I can then download it there. I can get information on it, and it even saves a copy of the photo just blank as is, and it saves another copy with a little circle around it that says, the telescope, and it says where you're at and exactly what you're photographing. So when you've shot a lot of different photos of a lot of different galaxies or constellations or anything like that, you can then go back and you'll still have access to see what exactly you were shooting because you have this photo with the circle around it that can show you exactly what you were looking at, so you never have to question later exactly what your photo is of. Now these photos can come straight off the app. They're ready to be posted. They're not raw files or anything. They don't need to be edited any further. You of course could edit them a little bit further if you wanted, but you definitely don't need to. They come out perfectly fine. The photos that I've been showing here are all unedited. There's nothing that's been done to these photos, so you can just straight post them as is. It's really the whole idea of this telescope is that it is so easy to use for anyone, no matter what skill level, no matter what your interests are. You get an incredible bang for your buck when it comes to how easy it is to use and the amazing results that it can produce. So as you can see, I traveled a little ways to get to really dark skies because I wanted to capture some really incredible photos. But if you live in a suburban area where the skies are relatively dark, but not completely dark, you can still see a lot with this telescope, especially brighter objects like moons, planets, things like that. But if you do want to capture those really great photos, it's nice to go out where you can see a few more stars, where it's a little bit darker on those nights when there's no moon. Now, it's also really handy that this comes in a really nice backpack, so it's easy to throw in the car, travel with you. It's got plenty of battery life. I've used this for a couple nights in a row now, and I'm still running on the same battery. So all of that adds up to make this great for travel, but at the same time, it's also just as good if you just want to stick it in your backyard, leave it set up and use it, a few nights out of the week. There's really a lot of versatility here. Ease of use is incredible, and I could not recommend this more for someone that just wants to start exploring what's out there in our galaxy. This telescope is perfect for anyone interested in space and observing planets, galaxies, the moon, and more. For photographers, it's not going to replace a pro-level deep space setup, but casual photographers are going to find the images from the Odyssey Pro to scratch their itch. Devices like this often come with a huge manual and difficult setup, but this telescope can be up and running easily within just a couple of minutes, even for a novice user. Thanks for checking out this video on Adorama TV, and I'll finish things off by sharing a few of my favorite images I shot with the Unistellar Odyssey Pro.